there's a lot of talent on this stage, and there is so much understanding and expertise. And I usually do the big long introductions, but what I really wanted to do today was give us some time to let the artists know who we are, what we're doing, and then kind of have the conversation over technology and how it's reshaping everything that's happening, not just in our industry, right, but in our lives right now. So, Danessa, do you want to kick it off? I feel like we do this all the time. Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Danessa Myricks. I'm the founder and CEO of Danessa Myricks Beauty.
Oh, okay. I'm like, there's so much more. My name is Melanie Mills, and I'm the founder of Melanie Mills Hollywood, and I also own the Makeup Altar, which is basically your ultimate goddess depot in Nashville.
Hi, I'm Cynde Watson, and now I am the artistry lead for Carolina Herrera and Rabanne Makeup.
Hi, my name is Roshar, and I do stuff.
He's the most incredible artist in the world.
She's my publicist.
In the world!
Thank you.
I'm Tisha Thompson, the founder and CEO of LYS Beauty, which stands for Love Yourself. Hi everyone, I'm Cynthia, Director of Global Artistry at Rare Beauty, and I helped launch the brand in 2020.
The things that are, those titles are such a small amount of who these people are and what they do. Cynthia, you were such a voice and one of the first big voices in representation for the Latina beauty community, bringing forward color and shape and understanding and culture when other people weren't talking about it. Tisha, we just had a whole conversation at the back, like you understand this industry from all sides, and more than that, you share it with everybody. You're always looking to build someone up. Roshar, you're the name that people say when they're told, oh, you have to do clean, natural beauty or you can't work. People say, well, what about Roshar? Like, that's how you shape this industry. I can't even talk about Cynthia Watson because I'm like a fangirl. She's gonna have a restraining order put against me. But modeling when there might be one black face at an agency and when there was one black face of a brand, that represented a brand when we started the show, and now we are a show of black entrepreneurs, female artists who have started something. Melanie Mills, I gotta say she has 27 Emmy Awards because I don't even know how many awards she has. Danessa, I said I was gonna do the long introduction, but I have to be me, and I have to let people know why the show this year feels so different. It is because the level of understanding is matched by the level of love for the industry. So thank you. I know you all should be selling at your booths, but thank you for being here.
This is amazing.
I want to talk about technology because it is something that is on everyone's mind. And I think this is such a panel of humans, do you know what I mean? Every one of us is so emotive and empathetic. What advice do you offer the artists in your orbit if they start to worry about things like AI?
Hi, for me, I've become very intimately familiar with the fear that things like AI has caused within our community. But I think at the same time, I think about all those other moments in history where we felt the same. There's still the people who held on to their horses, literally, because they didn't want to drive a car. They soon had to change their mind. I clearly remember that shift over from analog to digital with the phones. Nobody wanted to let go of the rotary. Don't even remember the word anymore. You guys are so young, you probably never even used it. I remember. Yes. Exactly. 100%. And how now no one could even imagine using the phone in that way. I shared a story the other day about a photographer that I grew up with in the industry who was when I say the most technically trained extraordinary photographer. And he wanted to live in that space. And then the digital cameras like really made it easy for everyone. Like me, I could not have become a photographer on his camera, but I definitely was able to become a photographer on the new digital ones, right? So I think, you know, one thing is being an early adopter is always important. Being educated early so that you understand how it can affect you pro and con, I think that's also important. And I think it's also the understanding that whenever new technology comes into play, things go away and then new things come. You know, when I think about my brand right now, without the help of technology and advancement of it, there are so many things that I wouldn't be able to do. So me as a female entrepreneur, a single mom with 2 kids, not knowing how to do anything, self-trained in everything, if it wasn't for advancements in technology, I would not be sitting here with you right now with this brand. So, you know, it's
It took
scary.
away a lot of the gatekeeping, right?
For
Even the
sure.
playing field for a lot of us.
100%. So I think it's just a matter of like, I feel you. I understand how you feel because I've felt and still feel the same way too, but I also realize that it's important that we're not left behind. And it's important that we like dream about how it could change the way we live today. All the things that, you know, we spend a lot of time doing that we don't like, using technology to help us spend time on the things that we do like, leaning into our art and also connecting with human beings. I think that that's really important too.
Thank you. Melanie, your career is so different. You know, so much in TV and celebrity. You've got your own brand, now your own store. Technology has always changed for your career, but you also are very much a grounded, aware of the environment kind of person. What advice do you give to artists when they start talking about things like AI?
Well, okay, so AI really freaked me out, and it still does. Environmentally, I think it's scary in a way, it really is, but it's there. I'm a part of a female entrepreneurial group, it's called Women's Network. They have, it's nationwide. And I was at one of these little intimate kind of business meetings, and somebody asked me, well, what is it that you need help with? And I'm like, everything. I was like, and they're like, well, how do you use AI? And I'm like, I don't. And every single person in that room was like, what? And a sound bath gal I took with me to this was like, I can't believe you're not using it. And I'm like, I can't believe you are. And she literally took me to the coffee shop after, had me sign up and do it right then. I started to cry. Because it was just like, whoa, okay, this is awesome. But yeah, I do worry about the environment with it. It is known that with every single little question, it's a bottle of water. That really bothers me. So, but it has helped, but I want people to definitely stay aware and not get so lost and so stuck in it, because if it does go away, which there is a chance of that, like you gotta bounce back and you gotta use your brain, right? Like we used to remember numbers, we used to remember everything, we used to know directions on the back of our hand, or now we're just
We were gods.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I had that phone cord wrapped around my whole house. But
That you can bring upstairs.
I get to still work with humans and people all day long.
Thank you. Cynde, so much of your career, you're kind of the expert in our industry when it comes to helping people prepare for the camera. You've built so many brands, as you're training teams and doing makeup, what advice are you offering for not just the artists, but all of the creatives that you are working with?
Well, I do everything scared. So that's one of my mantras. It's like you just kind of jump in and do it. And I think with AI now, of course, I'm in the corporate space. And yes, there are education teams, and a lot of them are a lot younger than I am. So I open my mind to learn from them. I think we have to let ourselves be led and be leaders at the same time. And I think in something like this, whereas we're creative, technology is a creative space, but it may not be something that we're so comfortable in. But to utilize it is super important. We can get things done faster, and I think, like you said, it'll give us a chance to then be able to do what we absolutely love. So I know corporately it is a place where we can move quicker and more efficiently, But I make sure, because I am the OG and old school, just to keep them grounded, and there's a balance, you know, understanding the why behind everything, not moving way too quickly to lose your creativity.
Roshar, and you're considered the artist of our industry, or one of those people who is such a creative. How are you dealing with AI, and what are you talking about with other artists?
Well, how do I answer this? I could answer it kind of in a two-part thing, but how I'm dealing with AI, I mean, I'm one of those people where I came up, you know, we all basically came up in a time period where, you know, well, at least for me, I came up before internet.
Same.
I just wear a good voice. I just wear Danessa's serum, that's why I do this. So I've had a little bit of a love-hate situation about it, which I'm sure a lot of people can understand, especially too since I come from a time period where, you know, we had, you know, actual 11 by 14 portfolios that we had to run down the street and, you know, all of that. We had to do it ourselves. And we did get lazy when social media started. Like, it became a thing where we just posted our work on Instagram and then you got a job. And now, of course, because algorithms and everything else have changed, that has changed, which means that the strategy has to change. I'm one of those people too where, just like Melanie said, I'm not so keen on what it does onto the environment. I'm probably going to be the one person on here that's going to be really anti, if I can even say that. But this is great because this is some of the people that are out here, you know, in the audience that have that same feeling, so I can speak to you as well instead of actually thinking that everything is perfect. So, okay, going back to the topic, I've been, you know, I'm not the type of artist that likes to turn the camera onto myself. Even though I look like I'm grandstanding and taking up, just, here talking on the thing.
Fabulous, by the way.
Thank you.
Where's the camera?
I'm not that type of person. I got into this because I wanted to paint. I got into this because I wanted to create. I didn't get into this because I wanted to be, a superstar, or I didn't even want my face to be shown when social media started. I wanted the mystery of it to be my work. And then I noticed as things changed, it became where we had to be a face, and I don't mind that, now, but it gets more and more involved. So what I noticed too, with talking about AI and what's going on with work, is I'm noticing even from photographers that they're saying their jobs are kind of whittling down. And photographers also are the ones that hire us. We can say, like, the product campaign that was all done by AI. I mean, sorry guys, excuse my French, that's fucking scary. So even a person of me that's been doing this for, oh my God, hey. I'm sorry. Thank you, okay. So this is a thing, like what we're talking about, this is actually going to be happening more and more frequently. So we gotta figure out how to navigate it, how are we still gonna feed ourselves? How are we still gonna use this as a career? And what I've learned is, like, if this continues, where our holy grail was originally advertising, is starting to be taken over more and more through AI, I've noticed where I'm not losing work is through my personal clients. Because your personal client, celebrity, whoever that's going on the red carpet, they need somebody physically there. So there will be a recalibration. It's not gonna be the holy grail anymore of campaign and advertising. I mean, there might be still a little bit, but it's really gonna be nurturing private clients and maybe even celebrities. I don't love working with celebrities, but it's not for everybody. You don't have to. You can just do it with personal, private clients.
Thank you, babe.
That was like hint. Roshar, stop.
Same question. You are coming from the business side of things as well, but I feel like you're such a big picture thinker of so many different experiences at every aspect of the industry. How are you feeling about AI, and what advice are you offering?
I think for me, I kind of approach it in the facet very similar to what Danessa was saying, is you really have to embrace it, right? Because you need to be an early adopter and figure out how to get ahead of it to advance with it, and how can you help propel yourself forward and use it for what it's intended to do. And I think, you know, I try not to think about the bad. I try to look at the good and what can come out of AI. And for me, you know, we've adopted it as a team, you know, more from an operational perspective to see, you know, what can we do to get what is our most valuable asset? It's our time, right? And so what can we do to get more of our time back so we can do the things that really move us or that we value the most? And so whether it be helping us with, you know, demand planning or forecasting in my business, or using it for accounting things, scheduling posts for social media, helping organize the thoughts in my brain, mood boards. I'm, you know, I was a big Pinterest person, but now it's like my thoughts sometimes don't even exist in pins in Pinterest. They're just in my brain that don't exist. And so how can I put it in a place that can help me really organize these thoughts? And so I've used AI in a way to really help propel the skill that I already have to make me move faster, do better, have more of an impact to my community. And I think what we have to remember that AI can't do, I mean, it's technology, so it can help, you know, make us better if we view it that way. But it can't offer that human touch. And especially as a makeup artist or a product developer, you know, we add that human impact that AI will never be able to deliver, right? Like, we can infuse that conversation of emotion, you know, things that humans actually need, you know, like that propel, which is what OAS stands for, is like loving yourself, you know, having confidence, all of these things that AI can never really emotionally provide. It's a tech, it's something that can, again, make us better and faster. And if we embrace that, then the area and where we are in our lives, and you know, we could use it to make our businesses better. We can use it to be a stronger artist. We can use it for leads. We can use it in ways to make us more money than we can ever imagine, because this is where technology is going. And if you don't embrace it, you're gonna get left. And so why not adopt it, find ways that it can help impact your business in a positive way. And that's what we've really decided and started to do.
I love what you said about that emotional connection. Yeah, it's so important. And for me, I use it in the ways that you do as well. I also use it to connect with different communities and familiarize myself with different cultures. So it's another way that I'm able to speak to different communities. I see it as an additional tool in my brush belt. You know, it's something that can help give you your time back. And it is scary, fear of the unknown, of course, but I do remember back to someone that mentioned social media, when we had to pivot, all of a sudden you had to become, you know, now a marketer. You know, it's not just makeup anymore, but at the end of the day, it really is about that human connection and having that one-on-one experience.
I think for me, there's a duality, because with Rebels and Outlaws, which is my brand, that we sell candles and other things, we're downstairs, everything is handmade. You know, I know where every ingredient is sourced from. We don't use Amazon. Like, it is, my hand touches every piece. And so the idea of using AI for anything there seems like not my soul, right? Because in that space in my studio, not that I don't love makeup, but that's me, you know? But having recently, and having, you know, Danessa Myricks next to me and available every day for advice, taking over a new company with Chrome Tooth Polish, at this age, at 53 years old, like every brand I've launched, the technologies, the media, everything has changed. And so I cannot imagine how I would do this without ethically using AI to at least bring myself up to speed. So I think it's the same thing where I have all of this knowledge. Brands want to just put me in a room and like have me ideate at the end of a table. But I've never been the person who can do the follow through. And that's where AI is really giving me something that it's like it took my ADHD brain and then gave me different ways to like not have to mask, because I can now do the parts that I wasn't able to do, if that makes sense.
And be able to afford to do it.
Yeah.
Because as a brand, you know, sometimes you don't have the resources to hire somebody, and those are actual, you know, positions and jobs, and not that you want to help and bring on people, and at some point you'll get to that stage with the support of AI, but in the interim, it could help you be able to get that business off the ground a lot faster than by yourself.
I really agree with you 100%. I think when I think about these tools, you know, the ethos of our brand is connecting hearts and minds through beauty. And I remember like early stage in my business where the most important moments for me as an artist and for our brand was when I was flying to another country, learning about a new culture, you know, developing friendships on the other side of the world. And when COVID came, that was a moment where that type of, like, I'm in your face, learning about you, hugging you, kissing you, learning your language kind of stopped hardcore. And I remember distinctly the pivot that I made to the Danessa Myricks University with the intent of using technology to still create those intentional connections with artists and beauty lovers from around the world, like having this one central platform. And that literally shifted the brand and also allowed me to touch so many more people. And I think of the same way now. It's like for me, like people in the room who know me or the brand know that I'm trying to answer every single DM, like every single phone call, every single everything. I'm trying to remember people, like those things are really important to me. And there's also so many more people that I want to connect to. And so one of the things that I've invested in as a brand are tools that help me connect with artists and creators from all around the world, and allows me to see things that I can't see because I'm not on a plane in another country.
Like a bionic Danessa.
Right, yes. Exactly.
I thought she was bionic, but...
You so funny. But if I want to understand culturally how artists in Brazil operate, let's just say, I can learn that really fast. And I can not just learn it, I can actually physically connect, well, not physically, now we're getting weird, not physically yet. I can actually connect with them. I can find, something is helping me find them, and I can talk to them, I can DM them, I can send them products, I can get on a video call. Like, I think that's really powerful. And the thing about AI, that the trigger for me, honestly, was that the fact that this is something that is going to navigate the way we live our lives, and it's trained. And I'm like, all of the good people, like the Roshars of the world, is not touching it. So it's not learning that magic.
Good.
So, but if you think about it, and my grandkids will never get to learn how you think and your ideas, right? I want the people in this room who I love and who enjoy the same things that I enjoy, who think the same way that I think, to be fueling that machine too. So it's really important from that perspective to not just like let evil take over the world, you know what I mean? Because we're too afraid or we're too upset to participate in it. It's like, okay, it's happening, no matter, we can't stop it, so let's make it beautiful. So it's really important that our inputs are part of the conversation.
Danessa Myricks, ladies and gentlemen. But when I tell you, like, this is the text that I'll get in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm the luckiest person.
Hi, thank you all for your beautiful points of view. I was wondering what the one mistake you think emerging artists are making in an AI-driven landscape.
I think the one mistake that they are making is ignoring it or running from it, honestly. I think, you know, you scroll lately and it's somehow hard to determine, is this a real person? Or is this like, and you know, most of the artists I know are like Roshar. We're like, you know, who cares what I look like? I want you to see my art. It's that kind of people. And they have amazing hearts and a lot to share and a very specific point of view. And because I've gotten to know them personally, I would be excited to see them, right? But the world doesn't get to. And I just think about, you know, if Roshar doesn't become Roshar to the world, then somebody else could be Roshar. You know, they can take Roshar's work and say, I'm Roshar. And I did
That's
this.
actually how
And exactly. Which is why it's important that we protect our own identities. And if no one has an opportunity to learn about you or see you or know who you are and hear, you know, what your points of view are, then they won't know it's not you a year from now or 2 years from now. Which makes it more important, and not to like approach it like from a fear point of view, but for me, like anybody who knows me know that I am the most introverted person. Like when I started my career, I started it on DVDs and you only saw my fingertips, very much like you. So people knew the brand for 10 years and had no idea it was me.
We were missing out.
You're so funny, I love you. But that's how much I am not that person. But when I think about not being able to share my own self with me to share myself and allowing someone else to tell my story, that's even scarier, right? And when I think about maybe somebody misinterpreting something that I made or not understanding it, and then some machine explaining, no, I want my voice to be in there. I want it to know all of my intention on why I created this and who I created it for. I want it to be so abundantly clear that there's no mistake. So now I'm like very, not excited, but I'm inspired to want to tell my own stories and to show up more so people actually know who I am. You know, somebody recently showed me a video of a masterclass happening in another country. And they were like, is this you? I'm like, no. But the person looked like me, was my same skin tone, the hair was the exact same way. I saw a room full of people screaming, and this other Danessa was running through the aisles. That scared the mess out of me. So it's really important that we show up, people know who we are, they know our hearts, they know our intention. Like, it's the one thing I spend most of my time doing, encouraging artists to be present and to be face forward. The other thing that I learned is that, you know, as a brand founder, people want to know who's behind the thing. Right? They may see your beautiful work, but they want to know you're a beautiful person. That question is there, right? I may want to hire you, but I don't know anybody who knows you. I just want to know, like, what makes you tick, or like what kind of person you are. What are your interests, like? Yeah. But you can't find it, so it's almost like, because I don't know, I'll go with what I do know, right? So sometimes your work is just not enough. Like, people want to be able to connect with you. You know, you think about now the brands that are winning, and the people who are winning are the people who, like, they know who's behind the thing. Like, people buy people, not things. I say that all the time. I learned that very early on in my lifetime. So I think that if you take AI and technology and the water, which I'm also very concerned about, and if you put that aside, because there's honestly lots of things, like I'm nervous, the clothes I'm wearing, who made this? Was it somebody in the factory? I don't know. But if you put all of that aside and just say, like, how do I want to show up in the space that I possess right now? What do I want people to know about me? What's special about me that no one's going to know from a picture? Yeah. What's my expertise that I want people to know that I have that's not being communicated through this photograph that somebody may or may not know is real, or that your hand actually did it? Mm-hmm. That's how I would love for all artists to think about these tools that they have available at their fingertips, and just turn the phone to their face one day and just start talking and watch their businesses change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cynthia.
I was just listening to what you were saying about connect. Technology has allowed us to do that in a way we've never been able to do before. So back in 2020, when everything shut down, at that point I was on QVC, which was a whole nother conversation of working when I was listening to everyone saying, oh, I'm bored, I don't have anything to do in the house bored. I was never bored, because technology had us selling like crazy in artistry and education. But what it did was it built a space for all of us to monetize our skills. So yes, there's a place be replaced in some areas, but we're never going to be replaced in terms of our knowledge and how we work. So if you're just seeing our hands, or if you're just seeing, I say just in a way of like not seeing our faces, but that's something that's hard to replace. The technology, even if it's just your hand and not your face, and showing you build this beautiful creative canvas that is going to be hard to mimic, you know, in technology. But to be able to educate because you can do it through those rooms is a positive way to monetize this.
One of the most genius clients I ever had was a man named Dr. Leclerc.
My Instagram tomorrow, we're gonna have a conversation. So I was like, yes, ma'am. So, you know, for me, it was that push I needed. But I think we have to remember the human connection that AI can never replace. Going back to that is having those people in your lives and reminding you the importance of showing up, and reminding you the importance of the connection and the stamp that you put on this world. And I think as long as we continue to do that, you know, technology can never really fully replace us. And I think recognize the opportunity to do what it is you really want to do. What is it that you really, when you stop and ask yourself, like, what is your goal? What is your mission? What do you intend to get out of it? And when I said in that, it was like, I really want to be a catalyst of changing the beauty industry. And I cannot do that from behind a desk, hiding behind a spreadsheet. I have got to get out, and I have got to share my story, and I have got to put myself in environments that make me uncomfortable, and I have got to be a little cringe. It's okay, but at the end of the day, I'm helping make an impact, because that is what I ultimately want to do. It's so important.
For me personally, okay, I'm a little bit, I guess most people would say, on the neurodivergent side. I'm very sensitive to sounds. There's certain pitches that will be physically painful to me. I can get, oh my God, do not tweet this. I'm like opening up on you guys.
The content you're seeing versus being persuaded by what you hear.
I didn't know people do things with the sound on. I only turn the sound on if it says sound on, or
No, I only listen to the sound, because I'm like, the whole thing, it's all sound on.
I'm
on
you
TikTok
now know
a lot.
it's all a spectrum.
Well, I'm on TikTok a lot, so TikTok is a sound on platform,
Yeah.
period. But I like that advice of turning the sound down and then seeing the
On
visual.
your phone, you see 5,000 other versions of how to do the thing that you wanted to do. It can literally spin you out a lot. So, which is why it's really important that we also, in addition to that, have our human connections, because you need the things or the people that can ground you and get you back to baseline. And so I agree with the idea of a diet. Like I used to, the number on my phone, the screen time was very alarming. Like it was bad because I just couldn't stop, because you can rabbit hole very easily.
We're not wired to see that much information that quickly.
It's exactly that, information overload. And so in response to that, I have to intentionally create quiet. I have to intentionally create no phone time. I have to
Things over and over and the same stuff over and over. I started to just like play around and be like, I'm not gonna post for a couple of days. What's gonna happen? And you know what? It was okay, actually.
Oh my God, did I put a panel of old people up?
Millennial starts in 81, so.
But I'm just thinking, you know, it's a big group, but I think in where I was getting is that in AI and in technology, there's room for every category, every generation. I think we can be powerful and move things forward. We have knowledge, you know, in the Gen X that the Gen Z doesn't have, and my daughter is a Gen Z, she's 22, yeah. So she, you know, helps me every day, trust. But I help her also organize her thoughts, manage in ways that she can't manage because I did it the hard way. You know, we did it differently. Even in makeup artistry, you know, my claim to fame was skin, and that you didn't have to retouch, and I was booked like crazy because it was so beautiful. Now, who cares? I mean, that you can do it so, I mean, we care. But you know what I'm saying, things change, but then they stay the same.
Because they're so reliant on technology, and it's important for us to show them what happens if you don't have that technology. So showing them the way to do it, the long way, the hard way, you know, is so important because, you know, they need to have the ability to still use their brain. Which is
I think for me it's about showing
into images, which is different than what I was talking about earlier because we were talking about the artistry. AI going into artistry is that it gets too perfect. And like what James was saying is like, there's something about a face that has something slightly different, or texture, or any of these things that AI does not get yet and kind of ruins. So I learned as a makeup artist, the magic is in the mistakes.
Yes.
So when you do something perfect, okay, great, yeah, that's cute. But
thing when it comes to that type of education, but I agree with you, there's nothing more special than having that one-on-one time with an educator in person. And so, not that it would replace that ever in that experience, but the accessibility to people that are not able to travel, that are not able to leave their homes. I remember back when we launched the brand Rare Beauty, and it was during COVID, you know, and I was able to connect with 34,000 beauty advisors from Sephora all over the world from the comfort of my bedroom. You know, never in my life did I ever imagine as a makeup artist that I'd be doing makeup on a screen. But I think that, again, it's going back to changing the way that we're doing things, but that human touch is never going to replace it. But I think that it does give accessibility and visibility to people from all over the world.
But I think it's important, to your point, to prove out that my products are doing what I say that they can do, because the customers deserve that acknowledgement. Exists on the other side of fear. And if you look at your life and think about any of those moments where the butterflies were butterflying, your stomach was hurting, the fear was there at its height, when you walk to the other side of it, think about how your life changed. And that's how I'm thinking about this moment now for you. Feel the fear and do it anyway, because I'm excited for you guys to see what
prepare themselves before their client comes in. And so I think I am thinking about all of this technology the same way. There are going to be all of these things that come up, and in our industry we've heard so many times that makeup artists are going to be phased out. And I think that it's very frightening right now, and even maybe more frightening because everything around us feels so frightening. There is so much noise, and there's so much chaos, and there's so many of those base things and bad things happening that are much more important than makeup right now. But I do think when we gather together, we do see the importance of the human touch.